honorable dignitaries, faculties, participants, and my dear friends, Namaskar and a very good morning to all present here. I, Dipti Maipal, the event host, feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of the organizing committee to the inaugural session of the second workshop on intellectual property, rights, awareness, and challenges. I now request our patron, Professor K. Umamaheshwar, Honorable Director, NIT Rourkela, Intellectual Property Innovation Center Chairperson, Professor Saurav Chatterjee, Examiner of Patents and Designs at Indian Patent Office, Shri Dhiren Pattanayak and Dr. Reddy Murthy, Workshop Coordinator Professor Sujit and Co-Coordinator Professor Partha to kindly occupy their chairs on the dais. Flowers are the bounty of nature which expresses human emotions. They reflect both gratitude and respect. Therefore, I request our volunteers to honor our guest on dais with bouquets as an expression of reverence and affection. To welcome is to honor, to welcome is to establish integrity. On that note, I invite Professor Sujit, the workshop coordinator, to address the gathering about the workshop.
Good morning to all. Honorable Director Professor K. Umamaheshwar, distinguished speakers from IPO Kolkata Shri Dhiren Pattanayak and Dr. Reddy Murthy, IPIC Chairman Professor Saurav Chatterjee, other IPIC committee members, my dear colleagues, students, and other participants. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you on the behalf of IPIC team, NIT Rourkela, to the workshop Intellectual Property Right Awareness and Challenge. This is the second version of the workshop organized by IPIC NIT Rourkela, and this time under the aegis of Kalam Program for Intellectual Property and Literary Awareness Campaign, that is Kapila, as well as National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission NIPAM. Kapila is an initiative by AICTE and Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell, and NIPAM is an initiative of government's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. More insights into Kapila and NIPAM program will be given by our two experts present here. So IPR are legal rights that protect creation and innovation resulting from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literary, and artistic field. Intellectual property protection is critical in fostering innovation. Without protecting our ideas, business and individuals would not reap the full benefit of their innovations. IP protection can convert your inventions into profit-making assets. For most of us, initially, protecting your IP may seem little bit of daunting task and time-consuming, but protecting your IP is well worth the time and effort, and it is not difficult at all. So for this reason, we need awareness about IPR, type of IPR, how to protect your IP, how and what to gain from IPR, significance of IPR to higher educational institutes like us. This is the purpose to have an awareness program like what we have today. Through this one-day workshop, I hope lot of clouds on IPR will be cleared and you will understand why we need to protect our innovations. We have two experts with us who will cover all aspects of IPR. So I wish all of you have a beneficial program today. I warmly welcome you again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to request IPIC Chairman Professor Saurav Chatterjee to enlighten the gathering about the Intellectual Property Innovation Center.
Thank you. Honorable Director Sir, Professor K. Umamaheshwar Rao, our respected guests and experts who have come here to give the details of patenting procedures and awareness, all deans and HODs, my faculty colleagues, staffs, entrepreneurs from FTBI, and my dear students. It is indeed a great pleasure to look into the interdepartmental workshop today, because by seeing the faces of faculties and students who are from different departments and have come here to understand more about the patenting procedures, it is indeed a great pleasure to see all of you. Thank you very much for coming here. Let me tell a little bit about the IPIC, Intellectual Property Innovation Center, which actually is the initiative of our Honorable Director Sir during sometime in the last year, just after the summer, when he called up and then told me that we need a IP cell which has to be expediting our patenting procedures, our evaluating procedures, so that we can have more of such patents, more of such design patents or copyrights, etc., from all the faculty community, from all the NIT Rourkela community, faculty, students and staffs, so that we can go ahead among all the institutes from India. Now let me tell you another thing is that at that juncture, we also found that the ministry also is taking the initiative with some efforts, like for example this Kapila, there is a Kalam IP literacy and awareness program, and with this NIPAM mission, Ministry of Education also wanted to initiate patenting programs in different institutes so that the patents can come, so that the research can have some commercial values. Because these patents, research, intellectual properties, copyrights, designs, all belongs to the commercial value. It gives a commercial value to our research, to the society, and to our country as a whole. So therefore, this initiative from our Honorable Director Sir is taken very confidently with our IPIC team. We have a 7-member team, 7 colors of a rainbow, because each members of our team is actually taking care of some departments, taking care of the awareness of those departments, facilitating the patenting procedures, etc. And in any reviewing process, we are trying to expedite the reviewing process, the evaluation process, and we wanted to do the filing of patent as soon as possible. Because you see, these are the inventions which should not be disclosed anywhere. And it should be disclosed once it is published as a patent. So that's why we have been trying our best to make the patenting procedure as fast as possible. So we have now taken 2 weeks to evaluate whatever disclosure comes from the inventors. Either it can be a faculty or staff or students. And we are trying our best to make it as fruitful as possible. Now let me tell you little bit about the procedure. What we do is that, what we ask for is that every inventor can give their disclosure form. Disclosure form is available in the website. And in that disclosure form, you can write whatever research you have come across or what part of the research you want to do patent for. Please mind it that those disclosures should not be disclosed anywhere, whether it's a conference, whether it's a publications, whether it's any type of presentations. So please don't disclose anywhere, but to disclose in the disclosure form to the IPIC office. So you send the disclosure form to the IPIC office, and what we do is that immediately we put that disclosure form as per um, uh, the research concern to our review committee through our member, and within 1 week we try to get the report. If it is not 1 week, if there is a holiday in between, we try it for within 2 weeks. By 2 weeks, our report comes from the reviewer, and we send it for compliance to the inventor. And we ask the inventor that if there is any part which you don't have any reply or which you cannot comply, please come to us, discuss with the attorneys if possible, and then carry out the compliance as soon as possible. Because this is inventions. You see, I am doing the inventions today, which is very important, which is commercially valuable. The others, anybody can do it. So as soon as possible, it has to be patented. The patent should be filed and published. That is what we need to understand. And after the evaluation procedure, after the compliance from the inventor, we again review it. So that takes around 2 to 3 days, and then we give it back to the inventor with an approval letter that you can now file it with the consent of, you can also get to different attorneys, and the attorney would support you to write the claim. However, our institute doesn't have an empaneled attorneys, but we are very soon will be empaneling some attorneys so that it will be easier for the inventors to go to the attorneys and then discuss with him about the claims and about how to write it. As for the website is concerned, so let me tell about the website. So what we are trying to put forward is that we have already given the disclosure form, all the forms which is required for patenting in the website, and we are trying to put the granted patents which have been already granted. I am feeling proud to announce that we have now 24 granted patents, and all the granted patents, I have seen it, and we must understand that all the granted patents has a commercial value. So to understand the commercial value and to attract the firms to take the commercial benefit of that, we will be listing all the granted patents in our website, so that and we will be inviting different R&D sectors so that they can go through the websites and go through the patents which are granted, so that they can have those things if required. So that will not only benefit your research, but also our institute, because institute will obviously get some royalty out of it. We have also trying to maintain an online procedure. Like for example, the disclosure form need not be sent in hard copy but in soft copy, so that immediately it goes to the review. The review was done immediately, and the compliance was done as soon as possible, so that the filing can be done within 1 week. So we are targeting 1 week. Once you give a disclosure, we can reply you back with a compliance letter, with an approval letter that you can file it. So that is 1 week we are targeting. I am very much, I also acknowledge this platform to my IPIC members who have been doing, this is not part of a research, part of his research, but this is extra work, and they are doing it very wonderfully. They are evaluating each and every aspects of the research, each and every aspects of the disclosures, complying with the inventor, and I am thankful to have all my members with me. Also, I want to thank the coordinators and co-coordinators of this workshop to make such an awareness program, because you see, sometimes I get phone from faculty members that how to do patenting, or whether my research is equivalent to do a patent. Look, I can tell you about my research, but I cannot tell you about your research, which is which might also be important and might have the commercial value. Now, this awareness program would would help you to understand such things. I have come across a lot of thesis during the evaluation of the thesis from across the department, and I have seen that all theses have the commercial value. So why not to apply for a patent once you do a research which might have a novelty, which might have a commercial value, which might have some innovativeness? Please apply with that disclosure form so that it comes to the IPIC and we can handle it, understand the commercial aspects and the novelty and the innovativeness, and give you the report for apply or for compliance, whatever be the case. So with this, I thank you very much. Thank you, sir, and thank you, experts who have come across. And I am sure that this awareness program would give you some value, so that in next couple of months, I can see some disclosure form coming to the IPIC office. Just to tell you another thing, sir, in the last quarter, so we have make a division of a year with quarter wise. So 3 months quarter wise, and looking into the disclosure form which is coming. So in the last quarter, what we got is around 10 disclosure form we have received, and we have given the approval letter to file it, and they have filed. So almost like 8 have filed, and 10 are in the queue, which will be filed in the next quarter between January and March. So we hope that the next quarter would be very important to us, because we need disclosure form, filled up disclosure form, so that we can patent it, we can file for a patent, publish it. And it is also true, maybe we can hear it from the examiners later on, that right now the process of getting examination report after you file it is very speedy. So, maybe another 6 months back, the process of getting FER was around, let's say, 6 months. Now it is 3 days. So as soon as it is published, it takes 3 days to get an FER. That is the first examination report. And once you comply the report, it goes to the examination again, and probably that will be again given more detail, will be given in more detail by the experts. So with this, I thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Shri Dhiren Pattanayak joined Indian Patent Office in capacity of Examiner of Patents and Design under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and has 7 years of experience in examining the national and international patent application. In a short span of 7 years, he has worked at Indian Patent Office, Chennai, Mumbai, and currently posted at Kolkata. He is one of the few officials in charge of NIPAM, National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission. That is a pan-India ambitious mission launched by Government of India named. Now I would like to request Shri Dhiren Pattanayak, Examiner of Patents and Designs at Indian Patent Office, to address the gathering about Kapila, Kalam Program for Intellectual Property Literacy Awareness Campaign, and NIPAM, National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission Initiative.
The most respected, is it audible? Yeah. The most respected person of this house, Honorable Director of this institute, Professor Rao, Professor Chatterjee, IPIC Chairman, Professor Sen, Coordinator of this today's workshop, and Professor Shah, Professor Shah, who is the co-coordinator of this event, all the dignitaries, distinguished faculty members, my dearest students, research scholars, and everyone who is present here. On behalf of Ministry of Education, AICT, and Ministry of Commerce and Industries, Indian Patent Office, Kolkata, I welcome you all to this one-day session on intellectual property rights. So I have given 5 minutes to speak about NIPAM and Kapila. So instead of speaking about NIPAM and Kapila, I will, within a 5 minutes, I will say why we are here. My colleague Dr. Murthy is also here. So I will speak why we are here. I am very glad to know that recently, in the last year, what Dr. Chatterjee has explained right now, that NIT Rourkela has filed 24 granted patents, right? So congratulations all of us, all of you, for this great achievement. And in the two aspects, I can emphasize why government has initiative and Ministry of Education was rightly, Professor Chatterjee said, that Ministry of Education is stressing more on this patenting aspects. And why the 2 points especially beside this or behind this total event. The first one is economic development and the second one is a very peculiar one. The second one is very peculiar one. The first one is economic development. Why we are stressing on economic development is we all know that recently India has surpassed UK to become the 5th largest economy. Is it right? Yeah. And we are going to surpass Germany by 2027 and by 2030 we will be the 3rd largest economy as per the projection of RBI and the government of India. So to be the 3rd largest economy of this world, we cannot develop without leaving IP behind. For an example, just for an analogy, how many, suppose there are around 100 people sitting here right now, 100 or 150, out of all of them, so you all are using phones, right? Mobile phones. And which company does it belong? Either 4 or 5 companies, right? Samsung, Apple, Oppo, Vivo, Realme and all these things, right? Whatever phones you are using, all these phones are made up of from some foreign companies, right? The royalty goes to. So any phone you purchase, whether it is Oppo or Vivo or Reno or something, it doesn't matter. But the display comes from Samsung and the chip comes from Intel, right? And the camera comes from Sony. Basically, it's a normal analogy, right? So we are a consumeristic based economy. And to make a really a productive or knowledge based economy, we have to develop IP. And this is our core motive behind this Kapila program or this NIPAM program. And why we are not a knowledge based economy, I'm not a naysayer and I'm not saying that we are not growing knowledgeably. We are growing, but we are happy that we are a consumeristic economy. In US, 41% of GDP is contributed by IP, whereas in India, only 2% of the GDP or the economic development is contributed by IP. So there is a huge gap. And we cannot say that we will develop like hell with leaving IP behind. We can't do that. This is the first thing that we need to emphasize. And the second one is very peculiar, you know. Why the second one is very peculiar? In an analysis in ministry, we have seen that it's not that you can ask that you have said that we are a consumeristic economy and we are very lagging in IP. So it means that we are not inventive. So we are not knowledgeable enough and we are not inventive. Is it true that our students are not inventive, our professors are not upright and our education system is not good? Do you feel like that? The answer is no. So why this is a peculiar? We analyze the US patent system and we analyze last 10 years granted patent in US. Whatever the patents that has been granted in US in the last 10 years, you can't believe 40% of the inventors are Indian. Is it amazing? 40 to 50% of the inventors who are sitting in US are Indians. So it's not like that we do not have intelligence. It's not like that we do not have capabilities. It's the only thing that we lack awareness. It's the only thing that we lack a developed IP ecosystem. And this is the only motive behind this NIPAM and this Kapila program. So there is a small difference between this Kapila and NIPAM. Kapila, that flagship program is started by Ministry of Education, and NIPAM is a mission that is formulated by our Honorable Secretary Anurag Jain. So we are celebrating the 75th years of independence. We have already celebrated that, and now we are going through a Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav phase. And what our Prime Minister has visioned, that without the enrichment of this IP ecosystem and without this creating this awareness, we cannot achieve the economic development and the total, like a holistic development, educational development. So this is the prime motto behind this NIPAM and Kapila. And in this Kapila program, there is some monetary incentive. That means to file a patent, you will get some reward, that 5,600 something. I will explain in the technical session better. And to end up this presentation, or to my this talk, I can say that I am very glad that your honorable director, your beloved director, has started this IPIC. And when I see you like young minds, when I was a student 10 years back, or 12 years back, sitting in your position, doing my master's degree or something, research in some institutes, I haven't heard the word IP, believe me. In my 7th semester or something, there is a course curriculum known as IPR. I just read that, I just wrote the semester, and that's it. खत्म इतने में. So मुझे नहीं पता था. I didn't know what is IP. So this is the only motive, that we have to create this awareness. And during his presentation or during his talk, Professor Chatterjee has mentioned one phrase, that the purpose of this event is to know how you can get patents and what is the criteria of getting patent. And he used one phrase that is known as design patent. Have you heard about design patent? Anyone? So there is no such thing like design patent. Sorry for this, but he is I'm not saying that sorry for this sir also, but there is no such word like design patent. There is no such word, phrase, or there is nothing like design patent. So that's why we are here. I request all of you to make use of us today, and I request all of you for this technical session that please be interactive. And whatever I got till now within the last 15 minutes from Dr. Chatterjee's presentation and Dr. Sen's presentation is, you people are already intelligent, and this is a very prestigious institute across India. So I no need to tell the basics. So rather than my presentation, I request all of you to ask your questions and to know, and whatever you have doubt and whatever you are facing the problems in your day-to-day life regarding this IP, very respectable faculty members are also there. So I request everyone once again that please make use of us, and that is the only thing I have to say. So there is no such difference between NIPAM and Kapila much. Kapila is a separate program and NIPAM is a separate program, but we have merged to our only intention is to create awareness and to strengthen the IP ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I feel extremely proud and overwhelmed to welcome an eminent personality and the key person behind the decision taken in this esteemed institution. He doesn't require an introduction, as he is a well-recognized figure in academics. Professor K. Umamaheshwar Rao, the Honorable Director of NIT Rourkela. We are highly obliged to have Professor Rao with us. I take this opportunity to kindly request Professor K. Umamaheshwar Rao to grace this occasion with his presidential remarks.
Thank you very much. And then honored to have the two resource persons, Shri Dhiren Pattanayak and then Dr. Reddy Murthy amongst us to give us some insights about the intellectual property rights, and Professor Saurav Chatterjee, the chairman of IPIC, and other his team members, Sujit and others on the dais, Partha, Saha, and my dear faculty members, and my dear students. I have nothing much to talk about. This are intellectual property rights. Having heard to what is the objective of IPIC cell in our institution by Professor Saurav, and also trying to know something more in gist, in brief, by Mr. Dhiren Pattanayak on the intellectual property rights and then the need for that one. I have just jotted down a few words which he has stated, that knowledge economy and consumer economy. I'll just go further beyond that one. I, in person, do not agree that we were unaware of this intellectual property rights. Indians were aware. This is the only one, my point of opinion. Ours has been an agrarian economy. It was, we have read, at least I read in my school days, that 70% or 80% of the Indians are agriculturists. And our economy and the life in our continent dependent on the agrarian economy. Gradually from this agriculture has become, that was an art. And then that art evolved by sharing the ideas and the knowledge. We never had any hitch or a glitch in sharing the knowledge. It's not that we were unaware. We were aware that by sharing, the knowledge multiplies. And that evolves in improving our economy and our lifestyles increases. Our civilization survived and thrived on Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarve Sujana Sukhino Bhavantu. We never thought that I should grow and my growth should make me much richer person. Me, along with me, the community, the society should grow is our philosophy. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. And even today, the presidency G20, right, we are also proclaiming that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. These are our ethos in which the country is built. It does not undermine and underpin the fact that today this intellectual property rights is that even the thoughts are owned, not the design or not the outcome. People are, what is that called, taking the patent on the thoughts. A thought is also. So that is the reason is that, yes, I agree to this one, that knowledge, more than knowledge, it is resulting in the money. It is not knowledge which is speaking, rather it is the money which started speaking. That's where this patenting has become more important. Because it is controlling the GDP, or it is controlling our standard of living. Then we started really realizing that why shouldn't I really take the rights of what I think, what I create, and what I design, or what I do. So this is a sort of virtue in selfishness. Maybe the fountainhead Ayn Rand must have taken propounded this particular philosophy of virtues of selfishness, but this is the opposite of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is the opposite of Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. First me, and then whatever I help, I'll charge. Consulting. This is a different philosophy. So no, I'm sorry for contradicting you, and so I just thought that it is not our unawareness, it is our badappan, it is our open-heartedness, it is our feeling that I grow, with me, society grows, is our philosophy. We never thought that one should take in a patent of turmeric. We never thought. Somebody realized in Ayurveda, they realized that it has medicinal value and therefore it should be useful for everyone, mankind. Overseas also. We never really realized that until somebody overseas started taking a patent of our own product, that is turmeric. Why turmeric alone? There are so many things which we did not bother. Not bothering is not our ignorance. Not bothering is only our speaking about our mind or intention, our broad-mindedness. okay, which hasn't been patented by anyone. So we should be really very thankful for that one. Now coming to the intellectual property rights, I feel that it is not a one phrase, it has three words: intellectual, property, and rights. It is absolutely a full definition of total selfishness. Ultimate selfishness. Right? I think my intellect, what I think is my property, and what is my property, defined as my property, it is my right. And if you really trespass my thought process, you will be sued. That is what is IPR. With these few words, right? Because now we have got to go with the tide. We cannot really stand aside and then become, right, a different persons. But then at the same time, let us promote. I am promoting this in a IPIC cell here in NIT Rourkela. The reasons are, my intentions are different. My intentions are that our institution should get the identity, that this idea, this product, because we are in that race. अगर गेम खेलेंगे तो जो जीतेगा वही तो सिकंदर है ना. Then the one who participated is not recognized, right? Then we played, we created the entire stadium, world's biggest stadium, Birsa Munda hockey stadium, right? And then there were teams which are coming from different countries where the country also did not really sponsor them. They came on their own. And then we have really hosted them. Okay. And then our philosophy is still there like that. But then who has lost is not recognized. But then another thing which I watched the last match, because I thought that that match there will not be much of a crowd so that I can enjoy sitting there. But then the beauty of Indian mind is that even it is a unrecognized match, Birsa Munda Stadium was packed. It was packed. So this is our, right, undisturbed mindset. Let us not spoil that one, becoming more selfish. Okay? And I wish you all the very best. There is money involved in this one. In IPIC, every patent has a royalty. Institution gets some money. I get 30% of that one in my for my institution, because that is my internal revenue generation. The reason why I'm focusing more on that is that on a long-term basis, because maybe you are aware or not aware that we have taken 165 crores loan. Loan means it has two devils behind that one. One is the principal payment, right? And then the other is the interest. Sood ke saath. Okay? So now my IPIC cell where Saurav, I was after him, is that let me just look at what are all the different sources of money which can really promote my internal revenue generation, so that my students and then my research scholars and then my teachers are not overpowered or burdened that you please go for only this, only that, only this. Okay, because today we need hostels. And I'm focusing a lot on creating more hostels for my students so that if they are comfortable in their rooms, right? And then I can demand that, why are you not thinking? So, so now, till that time, right, I am running around the state also to generate more money, and IPIC cell, through that one, I generate more money so that we can pay back the interest, we can pay back the principal, because the government has fixed. They may not really charge from Adanis, they may not charge from any other people, but then they charge on the government institutions. Right? When we take a loan, right, they charge us. And we have got to pay the last penny of what we have taken. So now I am taking through IPIC cell, Saurav Chatterjee. Nothing more. Right? I am one person against becoming selfish. But then now I'm becoming a little selfish because it is generating little money. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As
I just want to make one point, if you allow me. So, as per first, there is someone who is born just like your director, sir. You know polio vaccine? The inventor of the polio vaccine is Jonas Salk, right, sir? In 1955, when he was asked in open television, right, sir, you invented this vaccine, and now it is going to be worldwide famous. So did you patent for that? Then he replied, it's all public, it's all yours. So he is just like your director, sir, he's open. And the second point I want to make, so as for sir's idea of generating money, I can give you an example. There is an institute known as Sri Institute of Medical Science. That is a Kerala, Trivandrum-based institute. That is I think, a central government-based institute. You amazed to know that that is a normal institute like NIT Rourkela. It's a tech institute and that is medical science institute. The running cost of that institute, 40 to 50% of this running cost of that institute is generated by IPIC. So that's it. Thank you.
As we have come to the end of the inaugural session, so I request Professor Partha, the workshop co-coordinator, to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Director, NIT Rourkela, Professor K. Umamaheshwar, respected Deans, Associate Deans, Registrar Professor Rohan Dhiman, Heads and in charge of various departments and centers, IPIC Chairman, Professor Saurav Chatterjee, IPIC members, my dear colleagues, students, participants, and ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Intellectual Property Innovation Center, NIT Rourkela, I take this opportunity to convey my heartfelt gratitudes to Ministry of Commerce and Industry under the aegis of Kalam Program for IP Literacy and Awareness, Kapila, which is an initiative by Ministry of Education, and National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, NIPAM, under the initiative of government's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, for allowing us to arrange the second workshop on intellectual property rights, awareness and challenges. I extend my heartfelt thanks to resource persons, Mr. Dhiren Pattanayak and Dr. Reddy, VVS and Murthy, who are examiner of patents and designs, Indian Patent Office, Kolkata, who has blessed us with their active presence and valuable time out of their busy schedule. We faculties, students, and all the stakeholders of NIT Rourkela would like to hear from you and various aspects on IPRs and increase our knowledge further. A special thanks to the organizing team comprising Professor P.S. Balaji, Professor Anup Nandi, Professor Sogato Kar, Professor Rajiv Khan, Professor Deven Bharma, Professor Sujit Sen, who is actually the coordinator of this workshop, myself, and our beloved students for their active participations and arranging this workshop within short time. Our heartfelt thanks and special mention to Professor Ratnakar Das, Professor Umesh Chandra Pati, Professor Poonam Singh, Angtel team members, and all the personnel who are directly or indirectly associated with this workshop for their unflinching support and coordinations. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I request you all to join us for a tea break outside PPA. We'll resume here after 15 minutes for our first keynote address session. Thank you.